Hey team, time for that weekly step video update. Wow. Noah's rubbing off on me. He does that kind of stuff. Hey, couple quick announcements. You're doing a great job with rock. We're still at the initial stages of learning how to use that and its capability. But the more questions that we ask and the more we lean into the system, the process, and the tools, I think the more efficient we're going to be for this fall. And so here's what I want our if I were to set a goal for the summer. There's some internal systems, some goal clarification that we're trying to brainstorm around and install into our hearts, our minds, our organization before August. And rock is one of those things. And so you need a couple people at each of our campuses who are constantly sharpening the pencil. And Jason Jones has been doing a great job. We're going to get Liz Rhodes in, and she's going to be another asset as we continue to learn how to mine data and leverage rock to do some of the things that we want it to do. And the ultimate goal, if you're asking, well, why is this important? Is it just so that we have spreadsheets and everything? No, what we're trying to do is leverage technology to help take care of our guests, to show each guest that they matter to us. And one of the key ways to do that is to make sure that we're following up with them. We have accurate information. And the only way we can do that is if we leverage and steward the resource of that database and all of the technology that goes with it well. And you guys have been doing a great job of that. So just want to keep that in the front of our mind. One of the things that we've discovered over the past couple of weeks as we've transitioned to rock is our attendance reporting is eventually going to change. Our goal by the fall is to have a new attendance report that's sent out, but we're going to need a few months to try a few things, get Liz on board. And one of the discoveries that we've had is the online service attendance has dropped, cut by 50%. And so Josh is in continued conversation with Livestream, and there's, at first they were like, it's on your end. And it's like, no, that's pretty much impossible. And now they're like, okay, we see things. So we don't know what the things are yet, but I just want to let you know we're in continued conversation with that, and look forward to seeing how that progresses. If you've forgotten, tomorrow night is the business meeting, and so I want to encourage you to be a part of that. Findlay will have, they'll be joining us from their location, and then all of the other campuses will be participating from Perrysburg. And so we're bringing all of the other campuses together. This is a great time for our staff to mix, mingle, and serve. I don't know how many people are going to come. This is the first time we've done it on a Thursday in a few years, and so I'll be curious to see what the result and impact and all of that is. But the business meeting packet is done. We'll be talking about some of the things that we've accomplished last year, where we're hoping to focus in the year ahead. And everybody gets voted on. So everybody in the budget. And so that'll be Thursday night. And for those of you that were a part of it, yesterday we had Leadership Network in town, and we began to take this, we invited about 40 people to participate in a survey where we just did a little, it's like he called it a blood test. A blood test when you get your physical is really checking some of the levels inside of your body that you can't always see, but could be an indicator of some changes that you can make for a better future. And man, our team gave us some great feedback. Our results were, how do they describe it? They revealed that we're in the middle of succession transition, that it's like the phase 2 part of transition. There is some confusion around what's my role, what's my goal. There's some people that have clarity. There's some people that are still stuck in the clarity hasn't arrived in their sphere of influence or their primary focus. That's normal. That still presents a lot of challenges, and our goal is to try to tighten some of those things up. If you remember a few years ago, I made a tactical decision to focus our energy on weekend services, on groups and how we're connecting people to groups, and outreach. And I think we've made progress with weekend service. We've made progress with groups. We're bringing clarity to outreach and what that's going to look like and how we're going to be able to scale that into the future. The team is actually working on that. I'm not even really involved in any of the details. Some of the big picture stuff I'm in touch with. But as those things begin to clarify and solidify, our hope is to have some tactical ministry goals for the year ahead. And so those are things that we're excited about. As we were preparing for the event, one of the things that I was asked to do was to prepare a devotional, and just thinking about where we are as a team and where we're headed, I was reminded of the spies that before Israel was sent into the Promised Land, and the spies were sent out to give a survey. They had data points that they were supposed to collect on, and when they came back, they gave a report. And the first thing that they said was, land is flowing with milk and honey. And they brought evidence. At one point it says that the cluster of grapes had to be carried by 2 men. And so this place that they had never seen, they were getting glimpses of the potential of the Promised Land. But with that report also came back reports of large people, giants, fortified cities, and pretty much every corner of Israel was inhabited by the Ammonites, the Jebusites, the Canaanites, and so on. And so that's honest reporting. There's potential and there's problems. And this is what happens in every season and stage of an organization. There's potential and problems. And the importance of vision isn't just, hey, what are the goals that you're going to accomplish? Like, how many people do you want to have? The importance of vision is ultimately about where is it that God's taken us to go? And having a vision is moving in a common, unified way towards towards the Promised Land. And at this point, there's going to be problems in cities and fortified and, giants and all of this stuff, but the potential's great. Caleb even says, let's go take the city. And what you see happen in this story, we got a loud truck here. What you see happen in this story is division begins to take place. Do you know what division is? If vision is what we're called to follow and pursue together, division is when you have plural visions, when you have double vision. And, we can get double vision for a lot of reasons. Double vision is when things start to get blurry. And what's funny about the Israelites is they all wanted the same thing. They all wanted a prosperous life. They all wanted to be in the Promised Land, but they started to splinter off into smaller multiple plural visions, and it really created a problem for them. Where you see it at the end of the chapter, I think it's Numbers 13, is, when Caleb says, let's go take the land, some of the other individuals say, nah, we can't. And then they began to give, it says, a bad report. You see, what happens is double vision, a couple of ways that double vision hits our life is when we are focused on our past, or we get stuck in our past as we're trying to move into the future. In other words, our vision doubles when we value what we have done over where we think we are going. When the highlights of our life are what's been done in the past and not what we see in the future, we have double vision. That can be true for us personally, but that's also true for us organizationally. Another time where organizations get double vision is when they focus or they get stuck on the problems more than the potential. And so ultimately, what happened with the Israelites? Did God want them to go into the Promised Land? Yes. Did He prepare them for this? Yes. Had He guided them to this point? Yes. What happened? They let the problems outweigh the potential. And they let the problems that they felt like they could never overcome, that they didn't have clarity on how they were going to fix them all. They had to trust God in the midst of that. And that's not blind faith. That's not being foolish. But they let their focus on the problems begin to give a bad report. And here's what they said. They said the land is going to devour us. Not true. Exaggeration. They said that all of the people are larger than us. They're giants. Again, exaggeration. Not true. So we're like grasshoppers compared to them. Another exaggeration. And then they said they even think so. Meaning, everybody is talking about how horrible and small we are. And so I think that those are things for us to listen for inside of our own hearts. When we begin to exaggerate, devour, use big words to try to make our point, if you hear yourself or someone around you say, they always, they never, it'll always be this way, here we go again, we're never going to get it right, those sorts of exaggerated terms, that's an indication that there's double vision going on. I'm not saying we should ignore problems, but always and never, and it's always and it's never. I'm always, I'm never. those are signs that maybe we're focused on the problem more than the potential. When we start bending or flexing to what all of those people out there think, that could be another indication of double vision. You see, the work that we have in front of us, it's like stepping into a bit of the unknown. We're not dependent or even leaning into the things that we've always done, and we don't quite have a firm grasp. We're getting a more clear grasp, but I don't think we have a firm grasp on everything that we're doing moving forward. The image that one of the Leadership Network guys brought is of a trapeze artist in between handles, in the air, moving towards something new, but we don't quite have our hands on all of it yet. We know generally where we're going, but we're going to have to trust God over this next season to help clarify some of that. And so I'm thrilled to be on the journey with you, but the key is going to be for us to continue to trust God and have a unified vision of helping people know how much they matter to God, and how much they matter to us. We need to help people see how much they matter to their world, the people that they do life with. We do this every weekend to some degree. And we also want to invite people to experience how much they matter to our world, to a world beyond the people that they know. And that's the dream that God had. If God's going to transform Northwest Ohio, it's going to happen as people begin to experience the depth of you matter in those areas. And how are they going to do that? Well, in some ways, they're going to discover that through Growth Track. They're going to discover that as they know God more personally and as they find freedom in different areas of their life. They're going to discover that as they understand how God wired them. And as they step up, and as we invite them to step up and experience God's dream, God using them to make a difference. And so we've got some of these pieces in place. Now we just need to build a little bit more of the goal accountability infrastructure to go with it. And so anyway, let's make that our prayer and heartbeat today. God, give us a singular vision. Protect us from division, double vision in our life. All right? Thanks, guys. Love doing ministry with you. And get outside today, okay? It's really nice.